Okay. I gotta get the light. Got into an accident, couldn't go to school, but when they finally came, his hair had turned from black into bright white. So when the cars crashed so hard, two songs ever in the history of any shows I've ever watched have ever made reference to the Crash Test Dummies, a group I listened to since I was like, I don't know, long time. I like the corniest, cheesiest stuff. I'm just a cornball, you know? If allowed, I'm just a very jovial person, right? Yeah. When I'm allowed... When somebody isn't taxing me with some bullshit that I don't want to do, which is most of society. Actually, Ma, we've been pretty fortunate. We've been pretty blessed to be delivered from 3D planet Earth in like the main vein of one of the two safest places on the continent, you know, and it's such a pretty place and it feels good. And I think I just told Mom before this, hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hayoke empath. I like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. And I feel the shift in the energy. And I think when does it start? And it depends on who you ask, too. Oh, Northern Exposure and How I Met Your Mother. Those are the two shows I watched, and they reference the Crash Test Dummies. Those are the ones. But I forgot what I was looking up. Excuse me. All right, maybe I forgot, so I'll come back to... Oh, I remember. Okay, so we're not there yet. I don't know what the heck my placements were the last 2-3 days, but I was just very uncomfortable. There are periods of time that when my energetic body, my symbiotic whatever, my electrical system, whatever you want to call it, I feel like it's being induced. Like with all the electricity that's in the air, that is amplifying the electricity within me. And sometimes the amplification is a nice little body buzz, you know, nice little hum. And sometimes I feel like a tongue on a 9-volt battery. And sometimes I feel like what I felt like when I grabbed the electric fence. So it depends on the energy. In the last few days for me, the energy has just been very uncomfortable. I've been heady about stuff. It's been harder for me to be where my hands are in the present moment because I'm such a thinker. And today was a shift in energy. I think the moon was in Virgo. I don't like when I don't do good with earth sign stuff, man. It's not, no. I don't got earth in my chart, so it's awkward. It's uncomfortable. And then so I got up early this morning. I decided I'm going to sleep out in the living room and give Mom the bed with the dogs, because that way I'll be able to get sleep. Because I'm not getting sleep, and it's because I'm too worried about the dog, like Mom falling off. It's just because like, Benny likes to lay on her. He loves to put her head on her, but he's got a big old head. She's like 84 pounds. She's a tiny, tiny little lady. She's small in stature. Her spirit can't be measured. So, he puts his big old head on her, and then so she'll move over so he can lay his head down. But when she does that, she's getting closer to the edge, and I don't know what I'd do if she fell off that bed. So, and I also, actually, there was another solution that was presented to me today from my Earth Angel, and that's to push the bed frame, which it would not be. I just lift the mattress up, flip it up, and then move the bed frame down, and then I could put it so there's like a wall there. Huh, Ma? Yeah. You want me to try that?
That's a good idea.
It was a good idea. I just remembered that I was presented that. She's like, well, is there a wall I was like, yeah, but then it'll be up against the door to the bathroom, which is fine, because she could just scooch down, and because that's her path every single morning. She gets up, she walks right to the bathroom, and then she goes out the other bathroom door adjacent up the hall. So we're going to try that. I'm just always about, making people as comfortable, as safe as they can, to have a positive experience. I had a few positive experiences today. And like I was saying, I woke up super early and got Artie out. Artie and I were walking around the yard about 5:30 this morning, and he's my little old man, so he's the last one to go out and the first one to go out. And then Tucker too, my little old man. So it was weird because when we went out the first time, it was chilly, but it wasn't like cold. I feel like right before the sun comes up, the temperature dips. And I paid attention because for the last 2 years, I slept with the window open right above my face, and I could feel the temperature. And so it's like, and I noticed, because I'm up taking dogs out before the sun comes up all year round, and so, like, there's a period right before the sun comes up that it gets colder, and it dips, and then it warms up. But shoot, where I live in Arroyo Hondo, New Mexico, it's a cool little spot. It ain't nothing but a blip. There's not even a gas station. It's a little community market right there, Midtown Market, and then there's a bar that gets pretty hopping right next to it. And there's a post office, but there ain't no mailboxes in it. And it's a pretty spot. Anyway, so got up early, and I haven't seen my buddy Augustine, he's gonna be my guide as I do my next venture, my next hobby. I'm gonna take up stone carving, and this is a piece. It's awful phallic, I understand, or whatever that word, but see, and then the thing I told him, I don't think I told him that, is like, they don't really have a Michael's. They don't have craft stores here. You got to be creative. So some stuff you got to order online. Mail's about 50-50. I get about 50% of what I get. It's a fun. It's because it's all timelines and stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm going to take up stone carving. I believe this is something albatross, because it's a soft stone, and he sands it down. It gets this real soft finish. Has a nice little here. Let's see if I can. There, we can see the detail. Detail on this, not on my face. I was just looking in the mirror. I'm like, man, I'm getting freaking all kinds of fun lines. Then you put the feathers in. Feathers. So this is my next venture. And I actually bought a tweezer set at Ace Hardware today that I can use in conjunction to these other. But what I was thinking about Michael's stuff like that is getting that felt. There's sticky felt. I used it when I made that year. I made 10 God boxes. I was out there using my friend's table saw in November, and it was so freaking cold. I'd have to stop and put my hands in my pockets to warm them up. And because I had my leather mechanics gloves on, but they're for safety. They're not for warmth. They're leather. And leathers, yeah. So, but I wonder how many people still have those. And I got the fancy stamp kit with the I can't remember. It was just like, and I used green ink, and like a dark emerald green and a silver ink, and wrote God box. And what you do with those is when you got a problem and it's weighing on you and you're obsessive about it and you can't focus on anything else and that kind of thing, is that you write that problem down on a piece of paper, and then you put it in the God box. And once it's in the God box, you can't worry about it anymore. It's up to good orderly direction. It's up to the universe to sort that out. Human beings think we have so much control, so much power. The universe gives us enough rope to hang ourselves, I think, is what it is. And then when it's all about the free will. But so on about the day. So I hadn't seen my friend Augustine. I hadn't seen him for a while, and I can't get a hold of him on his phone because around here a lot of people, it's commonplace in life, they just have burner phones, and then they get phone cards with minutes. And he had run out of minutes. And for the last couple days, I hadn't gotten much sleep, and then I have a burst of energy, or I get real tired from like 9 until 11 or 12. And I was just down energetically. And so I did that. And then, but when I got up, he wasn't going to be around because it's been cold and he's a pedestrian. He does get rides, but, it's just been too cold to go and hang out and sit at the park. So this morning, I called where he worked. And I asked, I left my phone number and I asked them to have him call me. And then like 10 minutes later, the woman called me back and said, he'll be done. He'll be done in an hour. Come pick him up. And I was like, all right. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I said, well, if I'm not there by 9:30, I said, no, I'll be there by 9. Because it was like, it wasn't even 8. It was like, it's about 8 o'clock. And she's like, and so I said, all right, I'll be there. And so I went to see him, and I haven't seen, he's the fella, he's my stonemason apprentice, or he's the master, I'll be the apprentice. I've been an apprentice before, I've been journeyman. I've been so many labels. I've had so many labels in society. It's amazing. F those doctors that give people labels. I got more labels than them. I qualify with more life experience than a bunch of people that wrote papers based on books that they read that are written by people that read other people's perspective. And the loop goes on and continues. I always hated that in school. I was like, you want me to read this story and then tell you what I think about this story? Why don't you just read the story yourself? And then we can talk about it. But they always wanted me to write stuff. It sucked anyway. He was so happy to see me. I was so happy to see him. He's like, yeah, he was his face lit. He gets in the van. He's like, it's been so long. I said, I know, because I was seeing him like every day because he was the fella that helped me move. He's the only one. So I better work harder on being a better person to attract better people. so that this is the last time I'm doing a one-person move. Otherwise, at least, God has given me enough abundance. I could have maybe just hired a moving van, but I'd rather keep that money in the bank and did it myself. And so he helped me, and he was like, yeah, he said I told myself, I told myself I miss my friend Marge. I don't even know why I sound like Speedy Gonzalez right now. He's not Hispanic. He's Native American. So I went, and he actually did me a big favor, and because I don't go into I don't go into Walmart here, and he went in and got me a carpet cleaner, so I feel better about life. So I feel a lot better about life. I feel so much better about life from just having, the tools that I need to keep things in a nice, orderly way, because the last couple places I lived, it wasn't, and I don't want to live like that anymore. So it's a good opportunity when you don't want to live a way you've been living to do things that you need to do to change the way you've been living, so you don't got to live that way no more. And I understand the importance of keeping, cleanliness is close to godliness and all that jazz. I get that. I understand that. I just also understand that there's circumstances that come up, and that doesn't always pan out. It doesn't always work. You don't always get to do things that you want to do how you want to do them. And then those precarious instances, I believe, are where the lessons are to be learned. And so I was grateful for him, and then we went to the park, and we just and we went to the store. I got him a cup of coffee, had a real pleasant exchange with the nice lady named Lisa. Every time she's like old, she's probably in her 50s. She's a Taurus. May 6th is her birthday. And I was like, I said, cause she was working behind the counter where the Starbucks counter is, and I was getting Augustine a coffee, and she was back there. And so when I went to the corner to wait for the finished product, she was there, and I was telling her, I said, every time I see you, you're working. I said, you got that mentality, you got time to lean, you got time to clean. And I said, you're a very, very hard worker. I remember there's times in history that people have said that to me, and it made me feel good that people noticed. And I never really felt bad when people don't, because I understand that people recognize traits that they have in themselves. And when people when they're not hard workers, they're not going to notice the hard worker in others. So nice lady named Lisa. And I always think, because we very well could be related, Anyway, she said May 6th, and I was thinking, I said, Taurus. I said, yeah. I said, that's why you're so driven. I mean, she's always doing something, and it's not just something little. It's like moving things out of the way and mopping and like significant things, things that nobody likes doing but needs to be done. Now, I always did those jobs too, so that's probably why I noticed. And she's always getting carts and stuff, and she wears these high-heeled shoes, and so she said, Taurus, and I was like, oh, Taurus, that's why. And I said, I'm an Aries. And she's like, she goes, Aries are good people. She said, and she kind of got serious. She's like, you're a good person. She's like, and sometimes people tell you that you're not, or try to make you think. She's like, but Aries, in their hearts, they're the good people. And I was just like, wow, She made me feel good, and I was hoping to make her, feel good. And so I went on about the way and on about my day, and they have a dumpster, and I'll do it until they tell me to stop. But they have a dumpster, and like I can just swing right up, and I've needed to use it because I was gifted this recliner yesterday or the day before. I don't even know. It was the day before. And it was so simple. I was going to tell the Earth Angel. It was like, because it came with the back folded down in the seat. And then you just stick the back and it like clicks in, basically. It has this male, female parts, and then they just kind of secure themselves. And you're not going to be you don't, yeah. So it reclines, because I wanted a recliner my whole life, and it's wide enough for two people. Mom and I were sitting on it yesterday, and then there's enough for a person and a dog. There's enough for two dogs. It's just it was cool. It was really thoughtful housewarming gift, or just cut whatever the reason. We've been really blessed. I think my Earth Angels listening to this. And this is an example. Okay. I'll look at that later. What was I doing? Oh! I sent a text earlier to an email thread. Okay? Earlier, I sent two pictures. And this is a thread we've had for a while. I know it's her cell phone number. We've had this thread going for a while, right? And then today at 5:35, I sent one. And it said, you ever look at my old Facebook photo albums? Because I used to have a lot of pictures of my old house. When we lived in Benson, Ma? God, it's like a lifetime ago. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Holy hell. It's been a long journey, Ma. Yeah. And God's kept us together on less than $2,000 a month. God's send us the stepping stones to keep us together. Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's a testimony of him by itself.
Yes, it is.
Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I sent that today at 5:35, and then I got back this error message that has the number, and then it says, error invalid number. Please resend using a valid 10-digit mobile number or invalid short code. And then I sent a different message that said, got a weird message with that last text. And then I sent a screenshot of the error message and put it, and then the error message didn't come back again. I don't know if it went through. Technology is really unreliable, and it's a bad idea for people to get more reliant on it. So many people don't use it than the people that do. There's so many freaking backwoods, off-grid, destitute, homeless people with no support systems. There's so many more of those people that all they don't got state government ID. Because you got to have an address to get those in a lot. It's just, because you got these bureaucrats that have never done any hard shit in their whole entire life. And they just love thinking of ways that they can just make things as hard as they possibly can for people that are just trying to wake up every day and not want to die that day. And not want to transcend, and not want to just think this is just another day that I gotta live to get through. See? There's a huge disconnect. We have an opportunity to shift the energy for everybody. People got to step into themselves, closer to their spirit, and step out of themselves, farther from their ego. However they do that. You can't do it with being greedy, and you can't do it with being a glutton, and you can't do it with just living your life for yourself. People really got to start freaking extending themselves to, you know, what's going to happen if something happens on this planet and then we just have winter for a while? Much longer than, you know, the regular 7 months. But, yeah. There's definitely a chance for turnover and change of leadership on this planet. Yep. I'm ready to step up. Oh, yeah, I could do that. Oh, yeah. I got a lot of life experience, you know. When I tell people hey! Stan Lee, you okay? Luna, get up there, you little turd. You scared me. See? There you go, baby. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. Luna's had a lot of trauma in her life. You know, that's why I'm trying to just love her whole life. She had so much trauma. See, Stanley just was walking by and she wakes up and she just... And when I get, it startles her, and then she's like me. She doesn't get... You know, she gets mad when she gets scared. So, anyway... What else? Oh, another thing that you weren't teasing her, were you, Stanley? Because sometimes you're ornery. My Stanley, get it. We had this big old leftover box of apples, and Mom was no way. I mean, I wasn't gonna make apple pie or anything like that. Stanley, you just knocked down my pitcher. I was busy doing other stuff, so. We took the box of apples down to Augustine's horses, and he went out in the pasture and dumped them out. So when they come back up this way, they'll have a nice little apple snack. So that was cool. That was a cool thing. Man, it was so cold today. It was so cold today. I did not like how cold it was today. I don't do good with cold. And I had plenty of layers on and stuff like that. It's just... It's my toes when my feet get cold. There was only, like, last year, there was only a couple times I'm wearing socks. My feet are getting better. They're less cracked and dry because I stopped wearing those sandals. Because mostly I just wear, like, socks, or... I even got to wear a pair of slippers. I feel like I'm becoming a regular person again. I feel like I've been feral. A feral human being just from freaking... Okay, I'll say, from being divinely protected. So being divinely protected, that kind of... I mean, we haven't had a lot of freaking human contact and stuff in the last several years, Ma. You know? The world kind of went crazy because people don't... Usually wherever I go, they think different. They whatever they believe in, I'm gonna believe in the opposite. And I'm gonna highly encourage people to be the best version of themselves. And sitting on a couch stuffing your face is not gonna get people there. So I encourage people to get up, get moving, dance it out if you got to. You know, because when people feel better about themselves, they start treating other people better. And that's a fact. That's a fact. And people that feel terrible about themselves, they treat other people real, real bad. Yep, they really do. Huh, Stanley? I had to buy a new hammer today. I don't know what happened to my hammer. So I had to buy a new hammer today. And I forgot stuff, so I got to go back into town tomorrow. I got to make a list, and then I was like, that's the thing. I crack myself up. I'll start, and I've done this like 4 or 5 times. I'll go to make a list, and then I remember that I need paper to write lists on. I don't have any paper, and this is the first time. I don't know the last time that existed that I didn't have paper to write on. Nothing. And I'm not big on Post-its because I lose the Post-it. So I like those little strip, and they have them at Tractor Supply. And I got to go to Tractor Supply tomorrow, so I'll write it on a paper towel if I have to, but damn, paper for writing lists on, that sucks. And then I gotta go to Tractor Supply. So anyway, I think I'm gonna get a bookshelf, try and find a bookshelf for right here, and then I could put my trinkets on it, like my awards and stuff like that. Because I just stand here right now. My laptop is sitting on a wooden box. That's my tripod. It's a wooden box. It's a cool wooden box. It was one of my Earth Angel sent flowers one time, and it was the vase in one of the flowers baskets that it came in. And so I put my change in it. And then when I do my YouTube videos, it's multi-versatile. I put my wallet in it. I put my keys in it. I put change in it. And then I set my laptop on it when I do my talk. But I think I want to get... And then that way I can drape the bookshelf with lights and stuff like that. So... Ooh, my hands get hot. A friend of mine, if you're in the local area in Taos, New Mexico, and I don't think she'd care. I took a picture of it. She's having a reconnective healing from 5 to 6:15 p.m. November 21st on Monday. And she's the lady that soaks my feet. She does. I think I'm due for more. She soaks my feet. She did my feet, which helped a lot. It helps get all you'd be surprised the mucky muck that comes out of the bottom of your feet. It takes 15 minutes for it to turn to black sludge, human sludge. That's just bad feelings. That's just talking shit. That's just karma. That's just heavy metals, all the crap they spray in the sky that's in our breathing air. And then and then we got to filter that stuff, and we got to work harder to keep our organs healthy to filter that stuff, because it costs more money for us to be dead than alive. But it's all right, because now they're just making kids in petri dishes, so they don't even need people to do it the whole old love way, you know? Cue merging machine with humanity. It's so stupid. These dumbasses freaking watch Terminator, and then now they're like, we can make it happen. Fucking dumbasses that nobody wanted to talk to in elementary school or high school or college, and they still don't want to talk to. So, and then they watched all these freaking, Goldfinger and shit when they were young and impressionable. So now they want to, keep the whole world on. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. These guys in their robe shirts freaking going around talking about how let's not let them travel unless they have this passport. Let's just not let them. You know what? We'll just keep taking their freedoms away, and they're not going to do anything because we've already proven how compliant they are. They'll just do what they're told. And then I see stuff on social media, like weird stuff. Sorry, Tuck, I get excited. About how, like, people are, like, there's piles, this supposedly, allegedly in China, where there's garbage piled up, and people are just, like, mentally disheveled because they've been kept in their apartments for so long. They're just people are supposed to have connections with other human beings. It's that's how creation is made. That's how creation is made. When two people get together and they have a conversation, what do you think about this? This is what I think. What do you think about this? What's the solution? Here is a problem. What is the solution? Not whatever we have now, where they just like to create more problems. They're not even looking for solutions. They're just creating more problems. It's gross, the fraud, waste, and abuse. And what happens on this planet every day. It's disgusting. We all could be living a better way. It would help if people imagine the world in a better way for everyone, not just for themselves. It's not going to be a freaking rad holiday season, man. It's not. Rest in peace, Michelle's mama. Another angel's received in heaven today. Michelle would pick up her mom, usually about once a week or something like that, a couple times, and then they'd go have a day. They'd go have a day. Get their nails done, have lunch, hang out, then she'd take her home to the place where she lived, and then she got to come home. And then a couple days ago, she had posted a picture of her and her mom, but it wasn't the ordinary series of the day. It was just one, and it was the profile change, and it made me wonder. It's different than all the others. What's changed? And she was going, I believe, into hospice care, but she got to go home in the place that she found to be home, her home. Not that she lived in a home, but at her actual home. And she was surrounded by everyone she loves. And I just said that last night, that's how it should be. I watched an episode of Reservation Dogs, and that's how people should be, where they want to be. And people don't want to be in those assisted living. They don't want to be. They want to be with their family, chilling in their slippers, being able to be as goofy. And I believe, people just evolve more into what they were when they were a child. Their mentality-wise, I've seen it a lot. People end up, and I'm like, that's how they were when they were a kid, And because my grandma didn't die. I mean, she died peacefully because she was doped up. But before, the last time I saw her, when I was leaving, she was begging me to take her with her. Take me with you. They're killing people. It's a German concentration camp. They're killing people at night. And she just was very upset. And I just had to turn around and walk away. That was a Thanksgiving weekend. And then she passed on the 23rd of December, Christmas Eve, 2004. Anyway, history. It makes us who we are. It does. Tuck, you want down, baby? Good boy. Good boy. Come on. You need help? Good dog. Come on. Good dog. Want me to put you down? Here? Want to come down here? I feel like, yeah, he's looking at the pillow. Come here, baby. Good boy. Good dog. Yeah, he just didn't want to jump down. He can jump up easier than jumping down. Good boy, baby. Good boy, handsome. My whole living room is full of dog beds. Good boy. I said, Ma, don't help. I don't want it like that. I'm making it how I want it, Ma. Artie's knocked out over. I got 3 square pillows stacked up in a row that's under the window that the sun passes through. And then I have one that the sun lines up that's right in front of the dresser. So I get 2 dogs hit the sun at once, and then as it travels throughout the day, it hits different parts, and we can just move beds around if we want. But my life is just here to help make them as comfortable as I possibly can. People that have been more uncomfortable in life, they really know how to make people feel good about things. Because I know for myself, I just imagine, okay, well, how would I want it? If I was Tucker, it would be, yeah, this one dog bed would be real cool, but it'd be more and more comfortable on my old dog bones if there were 3 piled up. And they all like laying there, you know it? And then, I think that's why I'm good at making people so happy is when I'm good at making people real mad too. I don't know what that's about. I don't understand. People get so angry with me. I don't get like mad. I don't know. I do get angry, but the way people perceive me, it trips me out. It always goes back to that. Always goes back to that. This is my trademark. Always goes back to, it's my own. My feet just started hurting. It goes back to that. I can't remember what I was saying. The offspring is blaring in my ear, and it's...
You want to sit down on the chair?
No thanks, Ma. I'm going to wrap up this talk. I don't even think I talked about Beyond Expectation. I did. I was kind of talking about that. That's what I was telling Lisa, the tourist whose birthday is May 6th, behind the coffee counter, is that I said, you do beyond and I've tried to do that in life. I've tried to do, okay, this is what people expect of me to do, okay? So I'm going to do what they want me to do, but I'm going to do it better, you know? But because a lot of times, and because you got so many sensitive, fragile egos involved, they get mad because my ideas are sometimes better. They don't like it because I'm not being compliant. But sometimes there's people got to understand that, other people got better ideas than you. I understand people got better ideas than me. I'm looking for people every day, all the time, that have better ideas than me. I just don't know where to find them because I live in a tourist place, so I don't really like hanging out with tourists. I don't like doing what the tourists do when the tourists like to do it. Well, they like to come here and snow ski. I hate the fucking cold. I'm not going to go out and hang out with them, go down and hang out in the freaking cold. So I can fall in more freaking precipitation that's cold. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather just sit by a fire and have a conversation with people, I think maybe the library, I'm going to check out the library to see if there's like-minded people there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Grocery store, that's where a lot of people meet, but frankly, people don't even look at people in the eye, and they're just so vacant. I had 2 people today that I had to walk through with the, excuse me, because people don't think about other people. They don't. They just never had to because they've always been catered to. They've always been coddled. So they go around. I was listening to that Robert Phoenix guy today. He had a good talk today. I can't love all of them. Just the last couple, I was like, what? Were kind of hit or miss for me. But today was a real good talk, I think. And Susie Gemini hangs out there, and
That's her name.
that's her YouTube name, and she's cool. She's always very nice. And I got Saturn and Mars and G Mini, and anyway, he's over in Texas, and I don't know. They're nice and warm and receptive in the chat, because most of the time people just ignore me. They just don't even, but I think it's because Susie's always hi, and stuff, and she's kind of a neat lady. She's a neat lady that a lot of people in the chat, see, the chats are just places where people go to have a conversation while the people doing the videos are having a conversation. So I got to chime in my 2 cents worth there a little bit. But yeah, it's just usually not really, but I'm not, but that's the thing is, I've definitely a frequency that is not common. I'm an uncommon frequency, so that's why my channel's never going to be colossal. It's just, I'm not going to ever, I'm not here to be of popularity. Other people, because I'm not going to do the things that get you there. I got other stuff to do, so I'm not willing to do those things. And because I'm not into it. I'm not into all that stuff that, so yeah, I won't. But I also know that people that have my same birthday, they've done, I mean, they're, I know what I could do if I was willing to sacrifice any time I have, left with my mother on this planet. And because we never know how long we get them, that love the people and the animals that we got, we never know how long we get them for. It's not always, not everybody gets to live a nice, long, old, comfortable fairy tale life. And society has done a disservice on society. The administrators, the controllers of painting all these pictures and dingling all these carrots and telling all these people how they should be living instead of doing the stuff that feels good to them. I'm thinking I listened to a young girl this morning when I'm getting up and I'm like taking Artie out and stuff. I'll put a talk on in my ear. And I listened to this young woman, I think she was like 24 or 25, and she was talking about OCD. Now, I've been to a lot of, when I was younger too, I was tested for everything. I'm not so neurotypical. I don't think like other people. I don't act like, I'm not like everybody else. And I'm starting to understand that the older I get. Plus I'm INFJ. I mean, there's all these things. I'm one of, and there's a lot of people that feel like they're the, they can't find people like them on this planet. But the thing of it is you can, and you will, because like attracts like. You just got to put a little bit more effort out there in doing so. So that's one of the reasons why I do these videos. So if people feel like they align with me at all, they can. I got my P.O. box on there. There's a few people. I was thinking about my buddy Carl yesterday, and then I got a text message from him. And I was having a hard day. So otherwise I would have called him, but I'll call him this weekend. I think he has tomorrow off. I think if I remember right, he has Saturdays off. But I'll call and, he can call me back when he's not busy, even if he does work or not. So, but there's, and my Earth Angel found me. So this channel is more about the people that need to hear about, that energy just shifts, and as shitty as things feel sometimes, it's not always going to forever feel like that. That things shift and they get better, and there's people that go years and years and they feel great, and then they, I really feel for my friend Michelle. She lost her brother just not too long ago. It's only been a few months since her. Or maybe it was, because time goes by so fast. Maybe it was the beginning, but this whole year, but her brother and then her mom go to heaven, and then and then Jessica, my sister, and just there's a high turnover right now. People all ages, accidents, intentionals. So many people are just disheveled. They just have like these dark entities just that are attached to them, and they're just driven to do things. They're just driven and compelled. These little dark shadows of compulsions that get people to do things. And I was listening to this woman's talk. I think, was it the white rabbit or underbelly or whatever it was? And she was talking about, she mentioned one. I don't know the Hail Mary. Mom was Catholic, but I wasn't Catholic. But I was always subservient, and understood that, you got to be obedient, and you got, and I prayed all the time. And once I learned the Our Father, she talked about obsessively praying the Our Father and then doing like 20 Our Fathers and then doing like 10 Hail Marys, but and then if you messed it up, or if you weren't paying attention and your mind got sidetracked and you lost count, you'd have to start all over again. I used to do that same exact thing. And I remember some girl that I used to know growing up. Last conversation we had, it was awkward, it was uncomfortable, and she was like, "Oh, you're not autistic, you have OCD." And she was just like, she was Molly's daughter.
Molly.
O'Reilly or whatever.
O'Reilly.
This chick, see, I know how crazy people can be because in my life, I've just been given examples just put right in front of my face of how how people have ill regard for value of life. Anyway, she had an abusive boyfriend, and she was bigger than her boyfriend too. Or maybe they were married, I don't know. Dennis. And he used to beat, they drank, and then they'd start talking shit, and then somebody would take it personal, and then, escalates, all that stuff, how the story goes. And he did it one time, and she was like, never again. So it took like weeks. It took a long time but she seduced him one night and then tied him to the bed. This was like a couple weeks after. Well, a lot of people are really into that stuff, Ma. Whatever. Nope. Not old Marjo and but whatever. Anyway, so she tied him to the bed and beat the shit out of him with a baseball bat.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of ways that people they get their own justice, and I think of it as like playground rules, and you got all these people that make life. So I can't believe how few people, 535 people, is that how many seats are in whatever, that bullshit freaking, in the feds. I'm ready for the feds to just implode on itself. But they made life so hard. So many lives were lost so many more lives were ruined. And when I say lives lost, not just death, but like the hardships that people went through, the suicides, and we're not on the other side of it. And, just all the family breakups, all the people drinking more alcohol, so many more lives, souls, spirits, just, just from shutting down the world for a frickin' flu with a 99.6% recovery rate. It's just, and now the elixir is like, it's gonna pass it up. Every time I see it, it's another tally mark. Every time I see another athlete falling. See, I was thinking about that today because I have all and I read books. In hospitals. I didn't actually read in libraries in hospitals. I didn't just Google this shit. And I talked to doctors and stuff like that. We had conversations a lot because I used to work in a hospital. And they don't always charge you for procedures when they're your friend and stuff like that. It's really weird, once you see how people can do favors for people, it's just so weird how the people are just majorly hindering. They just don't want to help outside their job duty. They don't want to go above and beyond, because they get off on withholding. It's twisted. It's weird, but people get off on not helping other people and watching them suffer and watching their lives fall apart and dissolve, knowing that they had the power, that they could have made it better for them, but they're just going to let them freaking sink. And so a lot of lives lost the last few years. So people are going to come into their, desire to live. They're going to come into their human spirit that wants to thrive, that wants to survive, There's been a lot of days in my life that I've never been suicidal. That's never been my way. Say on northern exposure, it's not the native way. It's not good to go any place you're not invited. That's what Ed says. So I'm not into that stuff, but there's plenty of days that I'm just like, I just don't want to, why am I here? Why do I live? In the last 6 years, it's the answer is make sure mom's comfortable, make sure mom's happy, make sure her feet are clean. We soak feet. I keep forgetting the last couple days. I was like, I gotta soak feet, and then we go in and at 7:30 and do our routine and brush teeth and stuff, and I keep forgetting. I'm like, damn it, we gotta soak feet, and so we did it last night. It was like, because I'm like, I can't put it off because I keep forgetting. And I would, if I had paper to write lists on, I'd write soak mom's feet and put it on the table next to it to remind myself to do it. I do it a couple times a week. And then we put lotion on her feet, stuff like that. Because she drinks plenty of water, she just, her skin dries out. Yeah. So we got to keep the old lady all lubed up, huh there, Ma? All slicky, as Mr. Feldman would say. My freshman year biology teacher, he would say that when people are trying to pull a fast one over, like give him some bullshit excuse about why they didn't do their homework or something like that. He were you trying to slicky me? Slicky? You think you're slicky, huh? You're slicky. I've been talking an hour. Yeah, I think he passed away. And then you'd get, hi Stanley. And then if you just were a dumbass, he had a dumb rock. A dumb rock, and he put the dumb rock in front of you. Here, you get the dumb rock for the class. Yeah, things are a lot different back in the 90s, 80s. This was late 80s, 90s, 90, 91.
Is he still alive?
I don't think he is. I think no. Yeah, well, he was like in his 70s. And his wife was the golf teacher. She was the golf coach. And then she was the like remedial like for she was like for all the kids that they didn't know what to do with them because they weren't like athletic and coordinated and stuff like that. And I always had bad ankles because I fell out of the tree. So like running the mile, I'd always get notes that I didn't have to participate in stuff. So I'd have to go to the remedial PE class and stuff, which I loved. I loved it because we played shuffleboard. I love shuffleboard. I'm pretty good at shuffleboard. And I got to play it on a cruise ship one time too. But yeah, shuffleboard, you put like the cornstarch down. Because we always played in Morro Bay. They had it in Morro Bay. The folks would, Parks and Rec places would open, you could use they had a shed. They come open it up, and they had the tools you could use. That's how it should be for people, all the good stuff shouldn't just go to selected few. So they had shuffleboard, and then we played wiffle ball golf.
I don't know what that is.
It's golf with little wiffle balls.
Little ones?
Well, they're the size of golf balls, but you can't hit them as far. And like, if you one hit over here and it landed on the hood of a car, it wouldn't break. It would be all right, that kind of thing. And she was the golf coach, and she's like, you have a natural swing. You have a really natural swing. She's telling me this. This was like my sophomore year, and I never had an adult say that I was good at something. I always just had people tell me where I had to be better. And so she said, with some guidance, you could do something with this. She really thought that I could. And so, but we were poor. I never got to do anything.
Would you like to learn how to do anything?
Well, I pretty much have learned how to do everything I wanted to do in life, Ma. And I'm not even 50. And there's a lot of people that are too scared to go out and do anything they've ever wanted to do. And I encourage them to drop that fear and do it anyway, because then it makes for better stories later. So she, what was I talking about? I just lost my. Every time, like, I get these notifications of news things, and it's just like, who cares? Who cares about all of this stuff that pops up on my phone? And people really do care. They care a lot about it. Like, they focus their lives on these things. Their lives revolve on other people's lives. They revolve around other people's lives, watching other people's lives play out because they don't know how to live their own.
They don't know how to live.
And I've been that person. I've totally, man, I immersed myself into freaking TV, movies. It was a big part of my life for a long time. Because I would find all those things that I didn't get in life, I would find them on those TV shows, all those emotions. Because as an empath, I feel what those people feel. So the good stuff too. But I never got to match meeting the people in real life that made me feel as good as those people that made each other feel on TV and in the movies.
Oh.
But what I come to realize is all those people that are making you feel good, they're lying about who they actually are because they're just playing a role.
Oh,
they're just trying to get people to feel a kind of way like they did,
So
So instead of excuse me, Mom, I'm going to lose my train of thought. People to go out and learn to find those emotions and meet them inside and find your own feeling of home, whatever that is, whether it's a place, person, or just a, smell of a campfire in the fall, whatever it is, it's something different to everybody. Everybody should have an opportunity and chance to find out what that place is to them, though. Quality of life. We have not been afforded a quality of life. We have not been afforded. People have not been afforded the pursuit of the right to the pursuit of happiness. That Constitution is in theoretic. It's all theoretically. It's all theoretic. It's all a bunch of nonsense. We're coming up on Thanksgiving. People are still touting about that. All lands are taken in some capacity. People are taken. Well, how far are we going to let people go to take stuff away from us that has nothing to do with them? That people should have no say. A bunch of lawyers should have no say in who I marry, when I marry, if I marry. Nobody should have any say in that. It's just silly, it's nonsense, and they pay themselves too much. It's absurd. The overreach has expanded into a place that it never should have been allowed to be. Politicians, city planners should not be making the money that they make. And all you got to do is go look at the high end in your local city and state. It's not like that here in Taos. They don't pay people shit. It's like the dog catchers make like $13 an hour here. It's a joke. They just totally piss away money. It's I see. That's the thing is, give me the credentials with my background in IT, and I will show you who's siphoning money and who's responsible. That's why they'll never let me in, because it's all a club, and I ain't in it. It's about all I got for now. Hope you